Okay, so hello, uranium friends. So, a lot of people freaking out there, it seems, in the space because we've had a little bit of a drawdown. But let's just take a closer look and to see if it's really that bad. If we've had some character changes, behavior changes, yada yada. So, all three ETFs, that's what we're going to look at tonight: URA, URNM, and URNJ. So, we're going to start off with URA. All right, so what's going on? Well, we've just had a little bit of a pullback. Now, if you guys follow me on Twitter, which you probably don't because I do technical analysis and everyone else is just moon boys, but regardless of that, I was pointing out the other day that there was a little bit of a look for a head and shoulders here, and lo and behold, it has started to play out. But is this a problem? Is this anything different than we've seen in the past? So, here on the daily chart, I mean, what is going on with URA? So, regardless of fundamentals, regardless of anything that anybody says and spot price and all that stuff, URA, the behavior does not change on this name, on this daily chart, until it takes out these two moving averages. And this pink one is the 50-day simple. This gold one is the 50-day exponential. So you'll notice on this daily chart, bounce, 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 big move, pull back to it, bounce, 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 bounce. So it's holding it, okay? And it's been holding it for a long time. What does this say to me? Well, what it says to me is that it's very, very reasonable to see URA pull back to this double moving average support. And that's at around 26.50, right? 26.50 to $27 range. So to me, there's no change. The only thing is that the small change that we see here is that it's broken down. It was using this 12 EMA on the daily support. It's lost that. It's closed fairly decently below it. So that indicates there could be some more downside. We have this level right here, 27.32, that could act as a little bit of a support zone. Volume profile suggests that it could be in that area as well. So nothing bad about what's going on with URA right now. So anybody who's having any heart attacks about the sector or the space, anything like that, nothing bad going on here. Moving out to the weekly because we do multiple time frame analysis. So yeah, weekly consolidation is just beginning, and we have not seen weekly consolidation since October. So is it reasonable for it to happen? Yeah. Again, look at the behavior of the stock. And I've talked about this over and over on commodities in general. They love to ride moving averages. So what has URA been doing since literally May of 2023? Once it overtook the 50-day moving average and the 12 EMA moving average, it has been riding them all the way up. Gets a little bit extended, comes back down to these moving averages. Does it make sense? And is it healthy if it comes back down to these moving averages to retest them? Yes, it does. 2650 area, 2665. That's the spot that the behavior of this stock, of this instrument, has not changed. When this moving average metric breaks down and it loses it and it closes below, then we can say there's a behavior change in this ETF. And if there's a behavior change in this ETF, there will be a behavior change in the sector in general. So until those things occur, as far as I'm concerned, no red flags. Okay, this should be viewed. It is being viewed, in my opinion, as an opportunity to add to my position. We've had a little bit of an RSI divergence here. It's going to help that it rights itself. It gets out of overbought conditions. These are all good, healthy things that happen in a normal bull sector and bull move. There is nothing wrong with the behavior of URA. And there's been nothing wrong with the behavior with URA since forever. Okay, really since this pandemic low, everything has been fine with this stock. So the freakouts, if there are any, the worry, it's not there yet. There's no worry for me at the moment. Quick look at the monthly. Yeah, monthly consolidation has not even started, has not even occurred since March. So ever since March, we've had a monthly higher low. Nothing has changed here. It's still the case. Uh, 24.45, that turns us into monthly consolidation. And if monthly consolidation occurs, still healthy for the longer term view of the stock. So URA, nothing wrong here. Normal pullback. The metric, the red flag for me comes out if these double moving 50-day moving averages get breached and get closed below. Yeah, will there be some undercuts? Of course, you see some undercuts, but it has been pretty solid for a very long time. So, in my opinion, regardless of chart patterns and whoever says TA doesn't work in a sector or you can't time the market, whatever. Okay, here's the deal. As long as this line, this double line, doesn't break, the behavior of the stock stays the same and it will continue to do so. Okay. URNM, it's probably going to be a very similar deal, but we'll look. Okay. So the daily, it's the same deal, right? 50-day moving average acting as support all the way up, all the way since I'm sure it's May. Yep, May. Once it took it back over, yeah, we've had some undercuts here. This was a pretty big undercut. Took it back over on its way. Does the behavior of the stock change? No. The weekly is going to be probably the same. I'm just repeating myself right now. URA to me is really the only important metric. That's where the money flow is. That's where the big money is going to be. Um, Other people will have different things to say about that. That's fine. Okay, same deal, right? The 12 and the 50 acting as support. Commodities are moving average riders. They love to ride moving averages. They trend. They ride their moving averages. When they lose their moving average, then it's a behavior change. Then it's a trend change. Then it's a difference. Then we have to start reassessing positionally what's going on. Okay. But as far as I'm concerned, same deal with URA, just repeating it over and over. So I'm not going to go to a heavy analysis on this. All right. Same deal. 12 EMA, 50-day moving average on the weekly. Monthly is going to be the same type of deal, right? Um, as long as, again, if it comes all the way down to the monthly 12 EMA at 38.91, perfectly healthy for this name. Nice double top, right? So, you know, monthly cup, possibly the handle, some consolidation. For continuation, cup and handles are very powerful patterns, and the larger the time frame are, the more betterer they are. Okay, more better. I was just a little injection of humor there. Okay, so the larger the time frame, the better the pattern, the more reliable the pattern can be. All right, so you could see we could be sideways for months here, and it's going to frustrate a lot of people. I know that. And it would be perfectly fine in my view. That's the crazy thing. So the same deal, all right. This double moving average, URNJ, I'm telling you, it's going to probably be similar. There might be some differences because it's a new fund. Let's just take a look. Let's see if we can identify a little bit of a difference in behavior change. So yeah, the daily chart, gold line 50 EMA. All right, same deal. Everything's the same. All right, so the behavior of these guys, nothing's going to change. There's a 200 finally starting to populate on this name. So we're a long way away from the 200. Regardless of that, I don't really care about. I don't think there's a change in action in this name until these moving averages get breached and they start acting as resistance. It's the same deal with everything else. So I have no worries here with the sector or with any of these names. Moving average rider, right? Nothing changes. The behavior of this stock does not change. Now, this is not predictive technical analysis or anything like that. This is just looking at the name, looking at its history, looking at what it likes to do or what it's been doing, and taking it from there. And understanding that if it changes what it's been doing since it's been a stock, then we have a behavioral change that we need to reassess. And then you start looking at the technicals and the sector health overall. Uh, yeah, 12 EMA rider on the weekly, right? Red line. It doesn't close. It hasn't closed below the 12 EMA since May of 2023. So we've just had a ride from May all the way up to now, and people are complaining. It's shocking to me, but whatever. It's just you guys. Nobody looks at charts. And they think they've been brainwashed to think that technical analysis is not part of the gig, which is amazing to me. But it is what it is. Enough with the rant. If Urnj, if this 12 EMA rider is no longer acting as support, it's a problem. The monthly, we're not going to get a lot of data out of because it's such a young fund. But yeah, there has not been monthly consolidation since it's made a monthly higher low. Basically, this is like a double bottom. Basically, since the life of the stock, and it hasn't lost its 5 EMA. So yeah, no issues in the ETFs, which to me says no issues in the sector. Uh, okay, so if anybody's worried, if anybody thinks that this is problematic, it is not. And the fundamental guys will tell you. So let's just look at CCJ. Yeah, so we've had this trend line. I've talked about these in other videos with CCJ. This is the anchored VWAP. So, we have an anchored VWAP from this low all the way up, and we have an anchored VWAP from the high here. And they're kind of starting to define a zone. So, what else is going on with CCJ? Just like everything else. Just like everything else, right? 50 EMA rider on the daily. Very rarely loses it as support. We had a little action in here. That was problematic. That was October, and stock market, the broad market was getting a beat down. So the algos kind of just followed suit. So I've sold a lot of my CCJ, quite honestly, and I am definitely looking for re-entry. So you might not like to hear this, but I'm happy that there's consolidation, and I want it to be deeper. Um, so I'm going to be scouting entries, and I don't have uh, an idea yet as to where I'm going to enter. But there's a little gap here, right? Low 39. Yeah, so there's a gap right here. Gaps like to get filled, and that would be fine because we have a lot of metrics here. So as far as I'm concerned, a pullback into the $40 range is just it wouldn't even be surprising to me, and it would be actually very welcome. So that's the way I'm looking at it. The weekly, same deal, right? So EMA rider is not as prevalent here. Well, it is. Same deal with URA, right? 12 EMA on the weekly with the 50-day moving average, acting in concert to act as support, and as back tested multiple times, and that's where the bounce has been. So again, right around $41. That's where all of this stuff comes into confluence as support. I'm starting to put in a picture in my mind as to where I want to be a buyer, and it's going to be around this area, you know? And that's that. So, no issues in the space as far as the majors are concerned. The ETFs are doing everything that's perfectly healthy. All right. So, we'll check in during the week on some other stuff. UUU is looking a little shaky. We'll take it from there. But for today, that's it. This is probably a fairly long video anyway. So, uranium friends, over and out. Don't be afraid of consolidation. Embrace it. If you are a long-term player in the space, which I am, If you are an investor in a space, which I am, if you somewhat trim strength and sell weakness, which I do, this is a gift. View it as such. Over and out.